All righty. We are up to 8, which is the number of people who said they were going to be here today. So I would assume we can go ahead and get started. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here today. My name is Patrick Harris. I am one of the sales guys at Stewart Title. If you haven't seen me yet, I pop by the office quite frequently. I've been trying to meet with all you guys at least one-on-one just to get to know you, find out how I can help you guys out. So if you haven't gotten a voicemail or an email from me yet about that, don't worry, you're on my list. So sorry about that. Um, my main job is to make your guys' life easier. And so we host these monthly classes that just are informational, show off some cool tools, services that you guys can try out. Today, specifically, we're talking about Stewart title databases. So not necessarily just one strict database. We're going to be talking about 5 different websites you can be going to, different websites you can use that will help you go and get leads, help you be a better marketer, all that good stuff. The class today, ask questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to interrupt me. Put it in the chat if you really want. I think on here you can raise your hand as well. So by all means, please be sure to interject yourself and make sure that you get your questions answered. Another thing too is at the end of this, a lot of these databases, we're going to have to sign you guys up for them. So in the chat box, be sure to put your email and your phone number that you would like to have used. So if you have an SMP email, use that one. But if you don't have that one yet and you'd like another email to be used, somewhere along the way today, put it in the chat. And there's going to be a couple other things that we talk about where you're going to have to enter some stuff in the chat that I'll use for later to sign you guys up for certain things. So all right, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start off with the easy stuff first and show you guys our website. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Excellent. Okay, everybody should see the Stewart Title website, correct? Okay, I'll take that as a yeah. All right. So our this is our main website that you guys can utilize. There's a couple things I'm going to point out on here that you guys will find really helpful. The very first thing to notice is we are stewart.com/northern-Nevada. So go ahead and save that in your bookmarks. There's a nice little cool thing here about Nevada and just kind of reminds you why you live here and why you help people move here. Under the toolbar, tools and resources, this is going to be your bread and butter right here. So the get a quote button, that's going to take you to our net sheets, which if we have time today and people would like to see a net sheet, we can do that. But that was our last class last time. So if we run out of time, there is a recording of it and we'll make sure that you guys get it. There's also for lenders and real estate professionals, which we will open up here really quick. This is going to be a form that allows you to see, here's a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about today. And the most important thing you want to see is the customer service order form. So if you really don't want to give me a call or shoot me an email, if you don't want to give us a call in any way, you can always fill it out online. So once you click on the customer service order form, it's a nice little form that says, hey, I need a property profile. And then in the additional information, you can write it down. Hey, I need some utility cards. Maybe I need some Spanish homebuyer information. This is an alternate way to get all the information that you need. However, you can always email me or give me a call and make sure that I'll make sure you guys get taken care of in that way. Another thing that I wanted to point out on here is under tools and resources, we have an HOA database. We try to keep this as up to date as possible, but we include all HOAs in the local area. So especially if you're trying to get in contact with them, find out some information. So let's go to Bella Vista. And once you pull that up, hopefully everybody's able to see this little screen pop out right here. Northern Nevada Division. You can see the Bella Vista Village, the contact, the phone number, as well as the website. And sometimes we even have an email in there. So it's just kind of a nice way to be able to reach out to them. We keep this as active as possible. So if you ever see an error or you ever see one that's not, maybe an HOA just popped up and you want to get the information over to us, just drop us a line and say, hey, there's a new HOA. Get the information and we'll get it up there as soon as we can. So that's really all I've got to show you on our main website. Again, except for our net sheets. That's going to be one of the coolest ones that you'll find on here, and probably where you're going to go most often. It helps you run a seller's net sheet. That's the best part on here. We'll run that on another day, or you can see the class, and if we have time, we'll run through that as well. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys a preview of what else we're going to be talking about today. So you guys just saw our website with all of our locations, and you can find all that information there. Now we're going to be talking about, we've got 6 of them up here that we're going to talk about. So we have a weekly weekender, which is an events calendar. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We also have a way to find pre-foreclosure information. We have a database that will let you pull your own property profiles when you're ready. We have Success with Stewart, which is an education portal. So it's got about 100 videos out there, all the way from beginner realtor all the way to expert level. We also have Breakthrough Broker, which is going to be marketing materials. And then last but not least, we have Market Stats through Altos. So we're going to be going through all of these today. Anybody have one that they're just rip roaring and excited about and can't wait to learn about? Oh man, it is going to be a rough crowd today. Okay, well, in that case, I'll go for the easiest first and we'll work our way down from there. So this one right here is the weekly weekender. So we release every single week on Thursday an email that covers all events in the local area. It includes sports, movies, weather, uh, concerts, local events of interest. We have them broken out into 2 different sections. The main one is Reno, Sparks, Fernley area, and then we also have one that covers Carson City, Gardnerville, Minden, Yerington, that whole entire area. This is something that we sign you guys up for. If you ever want to sign up your own clients, you can either A, forward the email to them, or B, you can subscribe them. So when you see the email, it'll say view this email in your browser. Once you open up in your browser, on the top left, you'll see a subscribe button. You can subscribe people to it. You can show off past issues, all sorts of stuff like that. So this one right here is our Carson City one. It always has this header right here. And then you can see local events on the side, and they kind of break them out into squares. They also had, during COVID, because there were no events, they started doing some new things where they were creating some DIY home projects. So you'll start seeing these in those in this email as well. Again, these come out every Thursday at 1 o'clock. So today you probably won't get one. We probably won't wrap up this class in time for me to enter everybody's email into the system. That way you're all signed up. By default, I will look at the office that everybody is based out of and sign you up according to the city that you're in. So everybody on here, I think, except for Colleen, I believe is from the Reno area. So we'll sign you up for Reno. However, if you want to be signed up for the Carson City one or anything like that, go ahead and just type it in the chat and say, hey, don't forget to sign me up for the Carson City address as well. Okay, so that's your weekly weekender. Easy peasy. Comes out every Thursday, 1 o'clock. We also post it to social media, and then you can share it as well. Cool. Great. Next, we have our pre-foreclosures. This one we're going to kind of breeze through just because right now, post-COVID, there's not a lot of stuff in here. This database is most useful, especially if you guys are trying to work with investors who are purchasing on the courthouse steps, or if you are trying to get short sales. So if you're doing either one of those, this is a good website, especially to keep track of and come back to later. No need to write down the website or the username I'm about to enter. Everybody on this email, I'm going to send you a big email with all the logins and the websites and all that good stuff. So if you write it down, great. But if not, I'll have it for you later. So you'll go to datasourcenev.com. You'll click on foreclosures, and then the password, their username is investor and password is investor-1. You hit login and it says investor access approved. Click here. Everybody's got the same login, so no need to think it's secret or anything like that. There's a couple different counties, obviously. In our interest, we will click on Washoe, and then you can see the date it was last updated. Pre-COVID, this was updated almost every single day, and there was just a huge list all the time. Since COVID and the moratorium, this has been, they update it usually about once a week. Now, under here, you can see notices of default and notices of sale. For those who aren't familiar with those, notices of default are given to people about 30 to 60 days after they have not paid their mortgage bills. So they're usually a month or two behind. They will issue one and then try to issue another one just to warn them, hey, you're in default. You need to start paying your bills. Pay us anything, really. And then the notice of sale, they have continued to not pay their bills. They are now in foreclosure. The bank now owns the home, and the bank is going to sell the home to the highest bidder of fair value. So, uh, two completely different things that we'll look at here. So, first off, notices of default. You can see kind of a dynamic list of properties in Washoe County. This list sometimes can be 20 long, different types of properties. Sometimes it's really short, just like this one. So we'll go ahead and click on single family residence. And as you can see here, wow, there's actually been quite a lot on here. This might be a good thing to start looking at again. Last time I looked at this, there were like five notices of default. So a good example of how you could use this. So you can see on here, 1465 Kinglet Drive in Sparks was given a notice of default on 331. This would be a good opportunity, if you cared to do it, to go talk to the people at Kinglet Drive and say, you guys are in default. We don't want you to get in trouble. There's a possibility you can do a short sale, get out from under the house, or you can offer an assist and a helping hand and find a way to help them get back on track on their mortgage. And then you're going to be the realtor that they always remember that helped save their house. So two different opportunities here. When you go ahead and click on the details, it'll populate all the way at the bottom because that's just how they do. And as you can see, their mailing address is different from their site address. So this person does not actually live there. You can see it's Patrick Sparhawk. He is based out of Sparks, but his mailing address is on Watson Way, not on Kinglet Drive. You can see some factoids about the house, when it was built, how many square footage it is. You can see a little bit of the assessor's prior sales history on here. And you can also see the information about the notice of default. Sometimes you can have some success getting some information from these folks. However, you're going to be on hold for a very long time. And usually they're pretty cagey about it unless you are the actual owner of the property. So if you want to call and find out more information about, they might be able to provide you how much they owe, anything like that. But if not, you can always just go straight to Kinglet Drive and say, hey, what can we do to help you? A word of caution too. The usually when you get a notice of default or a notice of sale, it's a very touchy situation. So make sure that you take a look at some scripts, some ideas about how to chat with these folks. Daryl has some information as well, I know, just to make sure that you're not coming in all hunky dory like, hey, let's find out how we can get you out of this house. It may not be the greatest situation. So take this stuff with a grain of salt and make sure that you're prepared to have that discussion. Now let's go ahead and look at notices of sale because these look just a little bit different. So notice of sale, like I said, they are past the point of paying back their mortgage or catching up. The bank now says we are owning this and we are selling it. So on here, you can actually see the address and you can also see the sale date for when it's going to go on sale. So let's say Zion Lane. When you click here, you can see the owner, just like before, mailing address. So they do live at that property. You can also see again that information of what the starting bid is going to be, as well as where it's actually going to be sold. So South Virginia Street entrance, courthouse steps, basically. You can see when the notice of sale was recorded, and you can then take this information and talk to us and say, hey, we want to find out what might be on this property. Because usually when you purchase a property like this, it's sight unseen and you absorb any title liens that are currently on it. So for example, most of them have that lien of an outstanding mortgage, but there may be some sewer liens. There may be an unpaid sanitation bill, something like that, that the buyer as the investor may have to take over. So any questions on the pre-foreclosure database that we've got right here? Okay, well, no questions are good questions, I guess. Again, you can use Carson City, Douglas, Lyon County, Story, or Washoe. I will get you guys the login for the website as well as the username and password. That way you can go in here, play around. As new realtors, if you don't want to use this, it's no skin off your nose and there's no problem. It's just another tool in your tool chest. So if you really want to go get those pre-foreclosures and help those people out, great. But if you want to focus more on, hey, I want to talk to my family and friends first and get my teeth, I forget the metaphor, but get started on maybe an easier property that won't be as complicated. We also encourage you to do that. Okay, so let's go to property profiles. Um, Property profiles are really, really helpful when you guys are working with buyers who want to go look at a home. This is going to be a couple page report that introduces you to the property. It'll tell you number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, recent sales history. It'll have comps as well, and it'll have local areas of interest such as schools, churches, veterinary offices, grocery stores, all that good stuff. Um, we are able to provide property profiles to you if you email us. We also include the deed and the deed of trust. So think of this as more of a last minute resort because we are closed on Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes we're around, but more often than not, we're trying to catch some sun and hang out at Lake Tahoe. So feel free to use this website, especially if you need a property profile on a Saturday at the last minute. All right, let's go ahead and submit ID. Everybody will get their own user account and password. Oh, and my information is incorrect. Let's try this again. Aha! Old password is not what I thought it was. Hey, there we go. All right, so as you can see here, everybody gets 30 different profiles a month. It's not like we're not willing to give you more, just that seems to be the average that everybody goes for. So go ahead and click on property profile, and then you'll click on the state. So obviously we are Nevada. If you really want to find out where Justin Timberlake lived in California, you're more than welcome to do so. By the way, I've done that like 5 times, but anyhow. Next, we're going to start looking up a property. Does anybody have a property that they would like to look up? If so, and it's not Washoe County, go ahead and let me know which county you'd like to see. Okay. All right. Well, if nobody has a property, we will find one. Let's go ahead and say, all right, say Greenbrae, say submit. So it'll think for a minute. Good piece to note on street name. It's really good to avoid putting drive, circle, street, abbreviations, anything like that. Sometimes the system just doesn't like it. So put in your number and then put in the main street address. So let's go ahead and look at Juan. So it's 1562. The next thing you're going to see is everything that's available in this property profile. For our intents and purposes, we're going to say select all because we want to see everything. However, if you feel like the person you're working with doesn't necessarily need to know the schools, maybe they don't have any kids, you can take that one out. Maybe they don't necessarily need to know the homeowners. Maybe you're kind of getting the creeps from your client, and the homeowners gives your neighbor's full name, gives the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and the square footage and the year the house was built. So it's all public information. But if you're working with somebody that maybe they don't need to know the name of everybody in the neighborhood, you can always click that off as well. Now, this stuff on the right-hand side, these are going to be your sales comps. So we like to do about half a mile to a mile the last 12 months because last 12 months have been crazy in real estate. 25% means that it will take this subject's property and it will go up 25% and down 25% and say what you're looking for. There's also bedrooms, bathrooms, and prices. So before we hit print and preview, we have a guest popping in. And so I will stop sharing my screen so she can see all of you. This is Joanne Sundstrom. She's one of our escrow officers. I think
Oh,
you're
there
on
I
the
am.
bottom right,
Oh,
right
God.
here.
They
There you
don't
go.
need to see me. Hi, guys. How are you? Everybody muted?
Yeah, everybody.
Joanne.
I'm talking to myself.
So your home where it's nice and warm because it looks like it's really cold out. Is it? How many do we have?
I believe we've got 8 of us.
Wow, I
So
can't see them all.
yeah, not too bad. We've got 5 people with their cameras on.
Let's see, have I met any of them?
So we met Rhonda for
Yep,
lunch.
yep. Hi, Rhonda.
Laureen, I believe.
We've met.
Laura, we had out to lunch as well. Tina, we're taking in a couple of weeks or a
Okay.
week or so. So,
And Lorraine, and slide down so I could see everybody else.
and the
I
other,
hate Zoom because I like to see people in person.
yeah, the other folks just haven't turned on their camera. So
Oh, they're shy.
we'll forgive them for now, but
Well, how's everybody doing? Everybody ready for Easter?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yay. Well,
Yeah.
do you have little children for the Easter Bunny to come visit?
No.
No,
Grandkids?
Warm weather.
Yeah, I just saw on the news it's supposed to be in the 60s instead of the 50s, so I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
not bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just wanted to come in and say hi. I know Patrick's got a lot for you. He's just full of information. I usually like to come in and interrupt him and get him off track, so he's not going to remember what he was doing.
That's perfect. Good
Yeah.
time.
He's a new daddy. He's got a baby. So are you getting any
Oh.
sleep?
A little.
Yeah. How old? She's 5 weeks now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah. A little girl. Everybody deserves a little girl, right? All right, you guys. Very nice seeing you. Have a wonderful Easter. Take care.
You too.
I,
Joanne.
All right. See you later.
I have a question. I can't, how do you access the chat?
Oh, on the top of the toolbar, there should be a little chat bubble.
I don't have a chat bubble.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well,
She's chatting though.
yeah. So if you can't find the chat bubble, at the because I know we need your email address. Oh yeah, you're good. So at the very end of it, I'll have you tell me, and I'll just write it down if that works
Okay.
for you. Perfect. So for those who don't know, obviously I'm on the sales side, so I help you guys out that way. Joanne is on the escrow side, so you guys are going to get to be best friends with her. Joanne has worked with Daryl since Daryl was an agent, and so he really encourages you guys to work with Joanne. You're more than welcome to work with any escrow officer here in our company that you enjoy working with. To Joanne's credit, she is really good at working with new agents to kind of help you guys through your first couple escrows and then kind of let you fly. We also have other offices in Carson, Gardnerville, Urington, Fernley. So depending on the city you're in and the people you need to work with, don't feel like your clients have to drive all the way to Reno if they live in Urington. We've got an office to help them out. So okie dokie. Any questions? I guess we should jump back into our property profiles, yeah? All right, I will hit the button and yowza, there we go. Okay, so like I mentioned to you guys, on the right-hand side, we're dealing with sales comps right here. Bedrooms and bathrooms, I like to change that number to 1 because it'll do 1 extra bedroom, 1 less bathroom kind of thing. And then sales price, this is a way to get out kind of the junk properties or the outliers in the data. So say, for example, we don't know what Greenbrae Drive is going to look like quite yet. But if this house is worth, say, 350,000 and you're pulling in a bunch of houses that are comparable, but you're also pulling in a $1 million one, it's going to skew all the data. So you're going to want to try to avoid that. You can always come back to this screen because once you hit preview and print, it opens a second tab. So then you can go back and make any changes that you need to. So we'll let this work for a little bit. On the top right, you can say print this report. So you can print it, you can save it, all that good stuff. All right, so let's look at this subject property. So 1562 Greenbrae, you're going to see the name of the owners. So it looks like it is owned by Juan and Margarita. Looks like it's mainly owned by Margarita. Owner occupied, so we know that they may own a secondary property somewhere, but they occupied this home. There's some lot track information that's according to the government. There's some tax assessment information right here as well. And then you can see that it was last purchased in 2019 for $325,000. So we were pretty close with our 350. You can see the previous owner and the loan information. There'll be more of that down below. And then last but not least, you can see, hey, it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. It's a garage. It's a 6,000 square foot lot. And the house itself is 2,200 square feet. It's built in 62. It's 1 story. You can see it's got 1 parking space and it has air conditioning and heating. So like I mentioned, good thing to have when you're going out with buyers, because you can look at this and you could walk into the backyard and be like, hey, they said there was no pool, and there's a pool. So what happened? Maybe you're walking around and it says 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and you notice it's 2.5. So just a little preview of what to look forward to and things to watch out for. Next, you're going to see a little map. It's going to notate where exactly it is. And then you're going to see some ownership history. So you can see that Juan and Margarita purchased it in 2019. It was previously owned by Claudia. Looks like there was a deed transfer. Rupert had it for a while. But this does not go back further than about 10 or 15 years. So the nice thing is that's kind of our job. When we start doing a title search, we're able to go back to the moment the house was built and who has owned it ever since then. So don't feel like if this is cut short and it doesn't show the beginning of the property that it's completely missing. It's just something that property profiles are very tip of the iceberg for you guys. All right, now we're into the comparable sales. You guys also call these CMAs, I believe is what they're called through the MLS. So these help you, especially if you're meeting with a seller. You can talk about, hey, where should we be listing your home? Also helps with a buyer to make sure you guys are making an accurate offer. So it'll show the comparable homes that have sold in the last 12 months around the area. Now it looks like low comp, high comp, and average comp. So we might have a couple outliers here. This one is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom that has a pretty small lot. It was built in 32, and only the building square footage size is close. So we may want to take that one out just because 149,000, that's bringing us down a bit. And the same with this one, boy, oh boy, high comp of 575 with a 43,000 square acre lot. So we may want to kind of narrow this down just a little bit, maybe decrease the mileage and see if we can get some better comps. So we'll do that here in a moment for you guys. Next up, you've got that area homeowners, which again, if you don't want to include, you don't have to. It's public information. Anybody could find it, but it shows all the nearby neighbors. It shows how far away they are, shows information about their property, and it also says what their names are. Now you can see the area history. So it shows on average in the area, the number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms and homes, what the square footage sales have been. It also shows some area demographics. So it breaks it down by age, breaks it down by median income as reported to the IRS, married, single, all that good stuff. So just kind of some cool, fun information if your clients are interested in it. Additionally, it's got some education, some industry, and then it's got those schools, like I mentioned. And last but not least, areas of interest. So like I said, you can see local vets, local banks, credit unions, coffee shops. This is pulled directly from Google. So if a company has just closed, sometimes it may not show just because Google may not have updated it quite yet and the page ownership hasn't changed. So just let your clients know that this is deemed as accurate as possible, but not necessarily timely. So if somebody just closed their business yesterday, it's probably still going to show up on here as being open. And that brings us to the end. There's another little disclaimer that we're presenting this information as accurately as possible, but if there's an error, there's no skin off your nose and there's no skin off ours. So let's go change these comps really quick. And let's say bedrooms and bathrooms should stay the same. And we're going to up this. We always like high comps, but we don't like low comps. So we're going to take those out. Let it think for a minute. And here we go. Oh man, we changed that quite a bit. So half mile, we only have a couple houses and the comps are now quite a bit different. Average comp actually went up by quite a bit. So like I mentioned, it's not rocket science, it's just playing with some numbers. See how accurate you can get it, see how close you can get those numbers. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that one, except for the low amount of comps that we got. We should probably get some more than that, but this is something that you can play with as much as you like. We also do the same on our side. When you request a property profile, we do some research to make sure we're getting you at least 10 to 15 properties that have been sold in the recent time that gets you as close as possible. So any questions on property profiles, the comps, the reports, how to get here? Okay. All right. Well, hey, that's a good sign if there's no questions. We are officially halfway through the stuff we're going to talk about and halfway through our class. So even better. This stuff will go nice and quick for you guys. So I should have you guys out of here within the next 15 minutes. So you'll have a little bit of free time to go stretch your legs. All right. So Success with Stewart. Like I mentioned, this is an education platform. We're going to skip all the fancy dancy words right there. There are 15 different topics provided by Success with Stewart. So foundations, for example, is so you just became a realtor. What do you do next? Planning is all about getting ready for your real estate career. CRM talks a lot about how CRMs work, why they're important in real estate. And oftentimes it'll talk about the best one to use. I disagree with the one that they say is the best one to use, but this has been produced by Stewart National, not necessarily a local company. There's, as you can see, there's social media, there's lead generation. There's a bunch of information on here for you guys. Depending on the topic that you want, so you can write in the chat or you can send me an email or just let me know verbally. I'm happy to send you as many of the topics as you like. We encourage you guys to probably only take off like 1 to 4 because we just don't want to. Each of these topics has about 5 to 10 videos. So if we give it all to you, we just don't want just to sit there and just be wasteful of it. We want you guys to take the topic that's on the top of your mind right now and be able to watch it. So for example, let's go into foundations. And as you can see here, I think there are actually 2 more videos besides these ones. And it talks about how to succeed as a new agent, fundamentals to grow your business, just a bunch of curated YouTube videos that really can help you out. So these are the only other thing that I would add. These are not to replace any of the S&P education you guys get. Nothing can replace good, local, informative education. Sierra Nevada Properties has some of the best education here in the city and here in the area. So really, any information that you gain there should supplant anything that you see through Success with Stewart, just as a little disclaimer there. So that's all there is to Success with Stewart, unless you guys really wanted to watch a 40-minute video on Tom Ferry about the mistakes to avoid as a new real estate agent. So we will move past that one. And Breakthrough Broker, I think we're going to end on that one because that one's kind of cool. Alto Stats is pretty fast and pretty easy. So we're going to breeze through this really quick. Every single week on Wednesday, you'll get an email about market stats. We provide these for cities as well as zip codes. So obviously, Carson, I think there's 6, 7 zip codes. Reno has who knows how many. So you can sign up specifically for an individual zip code. Every week, you'll get a new report with new and updated numbers. So we try to shake things up a little bit and offer you guys some new numbers that you may not see necessarily from the local RSAR or the local RGJ. We like to change things up just a little. So instead of the median sales price, we show the median list price for the area. We also show median list price for new listings. We also show square footage price. There's a bunch of numbers on here that you can all tootle through. The one I like to point out to you guys is right here, the housing segments. And you can see just how fast things really are still moving. When I did this class back in, 2018, 2019, these numbers were totally different. The days on market up here for the $1 million properties or higher were always 100, if not 200. And then it went down from there. The days on market for the low properties were always, kind of single digits, maybe 2-3 weeks at the most. And this median price number was much, 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 much lower. It was, closer to the $200,000, $300,000 range for basically a 1,500 square foot house. So you can really see how the world has changed just in the last couple of years. But the nice thing is you can kind of prepare your clients when you're looking at this, depending on the zip code, depending on the city. This is how fast houses are moving. This is what you can expect. So if they come to you and say, hey, I can afford, 400,000 at the most, you can just prepare them and say, based on the area you're looking in the zip code, you're going to get less than 1,500 square feet. You're going to get a small lot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it's going to be an older house, probably about 30 years old. So just kind of prepare them that way. The following reports that you'll see are all of the actual graphs that go into this very first profile right here. So if you're a statistician, an economist, if you just love to look at graphs and numbers, that'll be your bread and butter. If not, feel free to just stick with this first page. It's kind of the executive summary that shows you everything. So again, just like the weekly weekender, I'll be signing everybody up for Reno and Sparks, unless I can see that you're in a different office. Maybe you're in Fernley, maybe you're in Fallon. If there's a specific zip code or a specific city that you would like, feel free to write it in the chat. You can also email me or just let me know, and we'll make sure that you get signed up for them. That way, every Wednesday you get them. Now, this isn't a one-time shot where you get to say it right now and you never get to change it. Every time you get an email, at the bottom of that email, it'll say change my preferences or change my reports. And you can then submit and say, Haynes, I want to get rid of these 2 Carson City ones that I've been working on. I'm now working in Gardnerville and I want to get these 2 zip codes instead. So you can always change them up from there. Any questions about our market stats, the numbers on the screen, anything like that? Okay. Easy peasy. And last but not least, let's talk about Breakthrough Broker. So this has a bunch of information in here for you on social media, scripts, real estate planning, lead generation. The coolest and best part of this thing for sure is the pre-made marketing materials. So the way this works is they, especially if you're not good at Photoshop or InDesign or anything like that, they have created templates and all you have to do is just plug in the information. The very first thing, because we're going to sign all you guys up, very first thing that you'll do is you'll go sign in with the username and password that you get, and we want you to go and make your profile. Because everything you put on your profile from then on is going to crop up on every single document that you make. So make sure you fill in your professional title, you put your name, you put your nice shiny face right there. Make sure you get your email and cell phone number. You can also in here check to add that the Realtor logo is added, and you can put all the information that you could ever want in here. Right here, you can put in the Sierra Nevada Properties logo, and you can also edit the brand color, which is the hex code. And I believe Jeremy sent that to me a long, long time ago, and I do not have it right now, but I will pull that up for you guys. Just because you guys have a very specific orange color. So it's not pulling up for me on my document, so I'll have to look that up later. Either that or you can reach out to Jeremy. Make sure that you pick the right color. All of your documents will then be color toned towards that. You can add team member shots if you're working on a team, or you can change out your headshots as well. So you can have alternating headshots, which is kind of cool. Once you get your profile set up, that's when you can start looking for things. This works just like a Google search bar. Type in what you're looking for and it'll pull something up similar. So for example, maybe you need some door hangers. Maybe you just had a listing, so just listed. Maybe you just sold something and you want to let people know, so you can say just sold. Whatever you're looking for, there's probably something in here to help you. So let's pull up just sold. It'll think for a minute and it'll pull up a bunch of stuff. So on the left-hand side, you can see kind of what it's going to look like. Now, as you can see, this one right here where my mouse is, the proof of production postcard, it's a very square looking one. So if you're looking at it and you're like, I don't really like the squares, I'm going to change it to circles. That's the part that you can't do. You can change the photos and you can change the text, but the actual design of it and the layout, you can't change. So if you like to change things out more than that, I would suggest go get some Photoshop classes, do that. But if you're happy with some pre-made templates, this is definitely the way to go. Let's go ahead and pull up. Let's just pick one at random. Let's do the Divine Series flyer. And we'll show you guys how this works. You can see right here, you can get your free digital download. That means you get to print it on your own. However, if you want, you can get the printing prices. Breakthrough Broker does really nice prints, but I will warn you, they are extremely expensive. So if you can, I really suggest go ahead and do free, and then you can get the prints on your own. You can print it at home, you can print it at the office and get the right paper for it. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Now, the cool thing is if you have the Breakthrough Broker Premium Plus, yada, 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 that's, I think it's like 15 bucks a month, you can type in the MLS number and it will magically just fill everything in. If you're cheap like me and you don't have the Super Premium Plus account, you can just drag and drop all the photos yourself. So let's go ahead and get started on the left-hand side first. You can see that you can pick your own color. You can add the Realtor logo, or if you want to take it off in one instance, you can. You can view front, you can view back, zoom in, zoom out, and then you can start saving. Over here, this is a dynamic actual page. So you can click on here and say, ooh, I have a better photo that I want to use. You can browse and you can do it that way. You can change all this. If you enter the MLS number, it automatically pulls in the street name, city, state, all that good stuff. And then as you can see right here, it auto-populated with my profile stuff. So it's got my name, it's got my headshot, it's got everything in there. So pretty slick and pretty cool stuff. Let's go ahead and change our colors if we can. Select. It thinks for a minute, and then there you go, just like that. If you have the appropriate hex code and you've already changed the number, it may already be populating and it would already have the Sierra Nevada Properties orange on there. Now you can save it and then you can go back later and you can see all of the different things that you've downloaded and saved, and you can go in and edit. So as you can see, I've been doing this presentation for a while. You can also go ahead and, oops, excuse me, sorry about that. Right here on the bottom, these are your download options. So you can say free download and you can say PDF, PNG. You can download it however is appropriate. You can also say share. So it's hooked up to email. You can hook it up to Facebook if you would really like to. And you can, in some instances, some flyers and have the copy links that you can use as well. And last but not least, you can say print and ship. Again, it's kind of on the expensive side. Oh, my button's not working today. It's a little on the expensive side. So if you avoid the printing and shipping, that's probably better for you. Looks like it's just taken a little while to load that up. All right. So that is how that works. How Breakthrough Broker, there we go. Final proof, ship it to me. They're going to make you proof it and all that good stuff. That's how Breakthrough Broker mainly works. Like I mentioned, there's also plenty of stuff about social media, how to get on there, start posting, start interacting, best practices. There's plenty of stuff for new agents about how to start planning your day, planning your week, make sure you're hitting your goals. And there's also ways to get out there and get your name out there and get some people that you've never met before, but really want to work with you. The last cool thing I like to show you guys is on the left-hand side, it shows you the trending. So it'll show you nationwide across the way what all realtors are using. Now, the coolest part about all the stuff that I just showed you, whether it's Breakthrough Broker, property profiles, any of that stuff, everything on here is free to use. The only way that you're going to run into money is if on Breakthrough Broker, if you decide to print yourself, or if you decide to get the Breakthrough Broker Plus Super Ultra package thing. That can get expensive, but you are under no compulsion to do so. And Breakthrough Broker has plenty of free stuff to be able to use. That is about the size of it. That's all that we've got for today. Any questions on any of the stuff that we just showed you guys?
I have one. The pre-made marketing materials you just showed us,
Mhm.
was that under marketing
That
tab?
So you can find it under the marketing tab here. Let me share my screen again really quick just to show you how to find things on there. There we go. Okay, so under marketing, it breaks it down into different
Got it.
types. So
Okay.
postcards, flyers, brochures, and all that good stuff. However, if you're looking for, maybe you specifically know what you're going for, you want a door hanger that is just sold, you can type that in and it will automatically find it for you. So there's two different ways to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you say we have access or that you're going to give us access?
So Breakthrough Broker is one of those, we got to sign you up, and then you guys within the hour will get an email from Breakthrough Broker that says you've been signed up. Click here to complete your profile. And that's where you're able to put in your picture and all that good stuff. So you guys will have access to that by the end of the day for sure.
Thank you so much. That's really useful. I love it.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad I could help. Now, while we're addressing the last couple questions, make sure that in the chat, at the very least, you guys have put down your contact information, specifically the email that you guys would like to have everything set up through. And Tina, you said that your chat was not working, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Tina, what is your information? That way we make sure you're signed up under the appropriate account.
It's T Norris
Okay.
at smphomes.com.
Perfect. All righty. And I think I've got your phone number as well. So I got that
I
all
can
taken care of.
give it to you if you need it.
Yeah, let's be safe rather than sorry.
It's 775
Okay,
453 4539.
excellent. Okay. Everybody else, it looks like is kind of coming through. And again, like I mentioned, if you guys have different zip codes that you would like, different market stats or anything like that, feel free to include it. If not, when I send this email here at the end of the day, you guys will be able to reply to me and just let me know, hey, also, I wanted to get signed up for this. Sorry, I forgot, all that good stuff. My last little disclaimer is I know we went super fast through a lot of this stuff. So if you guys end up with any questions, maybe you want to sit down one-on-one and run through the site yourself with me, I'm more than happy to do that. So please don't feel like I showed it to you once and I'm leaving you high and dry and all that good stuff. All right. Any other questions about any of the services that we showed today? How many jumping jacks I can do? How much life advice has come true that I've given? I'm just kidding. I give terrible life advice, so don't listen to me. All right, the last thing I have got for you guys is our next Lunch and Learn. It is going to be in May, and I believe it's the 12th, but I just got to double check really quick. Yes, it is May 12th. It's going to be from noon until 1. We're going to be going over 1031 exchanges. So for those who don't know, that is when people have investment properties and they're looking to sell them, buy another, and avoid taxes. So we're going to be having a gal who we have in our office who is a qualified intermediary. She's going to be laying everything out to you in kind of layman's terms, make it a little easier to understand, and just familiarize you guys with it. That way, if you ever meet somebody who needs to go into an exchange, you know a little bit. That way you can refer them over to us and we're able to help you guys out and make sure they're all taken care of and you guys still look good. So that'll be May 12th. Any requests for lunch? You guys want Chick-fil-A this time? Costa Vida, Harris Steakhouse? All right. Well, in that case, I'll pick one out of a hat. And as always, I like to remind you guys, these classes, we like to change the topics up and address what you guys need to know about. So if there's a certain topic that you guys are like, ooh, I am dealing with a lot of out of state or out of country sellers, let's do FERPTA. If you guys are dealing with farming and you just want to know how can I farm and get something out of it, request away. We want to teach classes that are helpful for you guys. So, okie dokie. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for just listening, I guess, at the very least. And watch out for an email later this afternoon. You got to give me probably until about 2 o'clock to get you guys all signed up. And you guys will have access to all these accounts that we just talked about. So thank you guys again and have a great rest of your day.